Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. 3 more Israeli hostages set to be released in exchange of 369 Palestinian prisoners under Gaza ceasefire deal. Volodymyr Zelenskyy tells US Vice President J.D. Vance Ukraine needs security guarantees. India is a democratic society, gives nutrition support to millions, says External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar at Munich Security Conference. An OpenAI board unanimously rejects Elon Musk $97.4 billion takeover proposal, says startup is not for sale. Updates on Israel-Hamas conflict first. 3 Israeli hostages are expected to return from Gaza on Saturday after Egyptian and Qatari mediators helped avert a standoff that threatened to sink a fragile ceasefire that has halted fighting for almost a month. Israel on Friday said it had received the names of 3 hostages to be freed by Hamas in exchange for Palestinian prisoners on Saturday after a crisis in the ceasefire threatened to plunge Gaza back into war. The 3 men said to be freed are Israeli-Argentinian Yair Horn, Israeli-American Sagi Dekelchen, and Israeli-Russian Alexander Trufanov. It will be the 6th hostage prisoner swap since the ceasefire took effect on January 19. So far, 21 hostages and over 730 Palestinian prisoners have been freed during the first phase of the truce. However, the ceasefire had appeared dangerously close to collapse in recent days. Alright, so these are the live visuals we are getting you. 6th hostage prisoner swap since January 19, and 3 Israeli hostages are expected to return from Gaza today, that is Saturday, after Egyptian and Qatari mediators helped avert a standoff that threatened to sink a fragile ceasefire that has halted fighting for almost a month. Earlier, US President Donald Trump on Friday advocated taking a hard stance on Gaza, for which he has proposed a US takeover. Talking to media, Trump said he was not sure what would happen on Saturday when Hamas plans to release hostages, but promised a hard stance on Gaza. Trump had said this week that Hamas should release all Israeli hostages in Gaza by Saturday midday. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio will visit Israel as part of his first Middle East diplomacy tour. During his 4-day visit from February 15th to 18th, Rubio will visit Israel, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. On the first leg of his Middle East visit, Rubio will arrive Israel late on Saturday. The U.S. Secretary of State is expected to hold talks with Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu on Gaza truce. According to the State Department, Rubio's engagements with senior Israeli officials will promote U.S. interests in advancing regional cooperation, stability and peace. Rubio's visit will center on freeing American and all other hostages from Hamas captivity and advancing to phase 2 of the ceasefire agreement in Gaza. And Saudi Arabia will host the leaders of 4 Arab countries at a summit on February 20th to discuss U.S. President Trump's proposal for a U.S. takeover of Gaza. The leaders of Egypt, Jordan, Qatar and United Arab Emirates will attend the summit to take place ahead of an Arab League meeting in Cairo 1 week later on the same issue. Donald Trump sparked a global outcry with his proposal for the United States to take over the Gaza Strip and to move more than 2 million Palestinians out of the territory, citing Egypt or Jordan as possible destinations. Trump made the proposal during a visit by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to Washington. Arab countries have come together in a rare united front, outraged by the idea of displacing the Palestinians en masse. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy met for bilateral talks on the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference on Friday. As the leaders discussed strategies to bring the Russia-Ukraine conflict to an end, Vance pledged that Washington sought to secure a lasting peace in the region. The talks in Munich were seen as a key moment for Kiev as it tries to keep Washington on its side after Trump stunned allies by announcing peace efforts with Russian leader Vladimir Putin.
We had a number of fruitful conversations, a number of things for us to follow up and work on. And fundamentally, the goal is, as President Trump outlined it, we want the war to come to a close. We want the killing to stop, but we want to achieve a durable, lasting peace, not the kind of peace that's going to have Eastern Europe in conflict just a couple years down the road.
Whereas hailing the talks with the U.S. Vice President, Ukrainian President Zelenskyy said that Ukraine wants security guarantees and a joint U.S.-Ukrainian peace plan.
We are very thankful for American support. President Trump, we have good conversation today. Our first meeting, not last, I'm sure, and really what we need to speak more, to work more, and to prepare the plan how to stop Putin and finish the war. We want peace very much, but we need real security guarantees.
The escalating conflict in Democratic Republic of Congo will dominate an African Union summit opening on Saturday with the DRC president absent after Rwandan-backed forces seized a second major city on his territory. The 55-nation body meets in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa as Africa faces devastating conflicts in the DRC and Sudan, as well as U.S. President Donald Trump's cuts to U.S. development aid, which have hit the continent hard. With the specter of a regional conflagration rising in eastern DRC and international bodies increasingly sounding the alarm, the AU has been criticized for its timid approach, and observers have demanded more decisive action. East and Southern African leaders on February 8 called for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire within 5 days, but fresh fighting erupted on Tuesday. Updates from Democratic Republic of Congo. M23 rebels have entered Bukavu, the eastern region's second largest city, on Friday. The leader of Congo River Alliance, which includes M23 rebels, said the rebels would continue their advance on Saturday. They have been trying to push south towards Bukavu since they seized Goma, the largest city in eastern Congo, at the end of last month. The capture of Bukavu would represent an unprecedented expansion of territory under the M23's control since the latest insurgency started in 2022. The Rwandan-backed militants' progress comes despite international calls for a ceasefire and a resumption of peace talks. Now, the operator of Japan's Fukushima nuclear power plant began the process of dismantling treated radioactive water storage tanks to clear space needed to store nuclear fuel debris to be extracted from the reactors. The step is a milestone of a sort as Tokyo Electric Power Company TEPCO moves ahead with a decade-long project to dismantle the entire plant in northern Japan, which went into meltdown after it was hit by a catastrophic tsunami in 2011. Since the accident, TEPCO has stored around 1.3 million tons of water at the site, along with water used for cooling the reactors. The water is filtered to remove various radioactive materials, but has remained inside more than 1,000 tanks that occupy much of the plant's ground. After removing the tanks, the utility plans to build facilities to store highly dangerous molten fuel debris to be extracted from inside the reactors. Scrapping the water tanks became possible after TEPCO began releasing the stored water from the plant into the Pacific Ocean in August 2023. OpenAI on Friday rejected a $97.4 billion bid from a consortium led by Elon Musk for the ChatGPT maker, saying the startup is not for sale and that any future bid would be disingenuous. OpenAI's board chairman Brett Taylor, in a social media post, said the board has unanimously rejected Musk's offer to buy the company as the OpenAI is not for sale. The statement further said that any potential reorganization of OpenAI will strengthen the company's non-profit and its mission to ensure artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity. Musk filed court documents on Wednesday saying that he would withdraw the offer to buy OpenAI if its board returns the artificial intelligence pioneer to a non-profit charity model. OpenAI currently operates a hybrid structure as a non-profit with a money-making subsidiary. In the central Serbian city of Kragujevac, protesters gathered in a demonstration on Friday evening ahead of mass demonstrations planned for Saturday. The all-day protest in Kragujevac was the largest gathering so far in a wave of nationwide demonstrations in the country since being triggered by a deadly collapse at a railway station that killed 15 people in November. Led by students, the protests have also seen teachers, lawyers and other workers turn out on the street to show their dissatisfaction with the government under Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić. Opposition parties and rights watchdogs accuse Vučić and the Serbian Progressive Party of bribing voters, stifling media freedom, violence against opponents and ties with organized crime, allegations Vučić and his allies deny. And the ongoing HPV vaccination drive in Nepal has shown awareness among students, parents and teachers about the importance of administering the HPV vaccine. HPV vaccine against cervical cancer is being administered to over 1 million adults and girls in Nepal. PM KP Sharma Oli expressed gratitude to the managers, health workers, volunteers, teachers, guardians and government and non-government agencies, among others, for the engagement in the campaign of HPV vaccination. The nationwide vaccination campaign that began last February 4 will run till February 18. In Kendriya Vidyalaya, Kathmandu, adults and girls from classes 6 to 12 were administered the HPV vaccine after public health officer from the government of Nepal along with a WHO team shared prevention methods of HPV infections.
Today we learned about the HPV vaccination. The HPV virus affects the cervix. It promotes the growth of cervical cancer. But with this vaccine, we can prevent the cervical cancer. And this vaccine mostly affects the 16 and 18 variation of the out of 150 variations of the cancer. But this also provides a cover for the rest of the diseases. And we also learned the percentage of vaccinated and unvaccinated, the deaths and new cases of Nepal and the world.
Government of Nepal has been implementing this national level HPV vaccination program since February 4 and it will be ongoing till February 18. It has been this campaign has been implemented throughout the country. Is basically targeted to adolescent girls, from those who go to school from class 6 to class 10, and those adolescent girls who are out of school. For them, it is targeted from age 10 years to 14 years, and from the next year, it is going on a regular immunization schedule for girls studying at class 6 or out of school going adolescent girls for age 14 years.
The United States Army has officially announced that it will no longer allow transgender people to join the military and will stop facilitating procedures related to gender transformation for service members. In a statement shared on X, the U.S. Army said that the decision takes effect immediately and all new accessions for people with a history of gender dysphoria are stopped and all medical procedures related to facilitating or affirming a gender transition for service members have been paused. This comes after President Donald Trump signed an executive order banning transgender ideology and invented pronouns in the troops as part of his first set of sweeping actions after return to the White House. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Vande Bharat Express, India's first semi-high-speed train, completes 6 years today. Largest sanitation drive in Maha Kumbh 2025. Around 15,000 sanitation workers will strive to create a world record today. And a giant panda in Western Japan gets Valentine's Day gifts.
Prasar Bharati, in collaboration with IIT Delhi and Software Technology Parks of India, is organizing the DD Robocon 2025 this year as well. In this National Robotics Championship, engineering students will get ample opportunities to showcase their ingenuity and potential. The national selection for this championship will be held on the 12th and 13th of July, and the winning team will get an opportunity to participate in the International ABU Robocon Championship to be held in Mongolia in August this year. So, hurry up! The last date of registration is the 16th of February. For more information, log on to www.ddrobocon.iitd.ac.in.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Moving on, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar on Friday has expressed optimism over the direction of India's democracy at 61st Munich Security Conference in Germany's Munich. Dr. Jaishankar participated in a panel discussion on the topic Live to Vote Another Day, Fortifying Democratic Resilience alongside Norway's Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre, US Senator Elisa Slotkin and Warsaw Mayor Rafal Trzaskowski. During the panel discussion, Dr. Jaishankar spoke how the elections are conducted in India and mentioned about recent elections in Delhi and parliamentary elections held in 2024. At the conference, External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar also participated in the Ananta Aspen session and shared India's thinking on global engagement, regional strategy and key bilateral partnerships. The theme of this session was Coming of Age, Evaluating Rising India's Security Challenges. On the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference, Dr. Jaishankar held a meeting with his Ukrainian counterpart Andrei Sybiha. During the meeting, Dr. Jaishankar and Sybiha discussed ongoing efforts towards the resolution of the Ukraine conflict. The two leaders also spoke about further advancement of bilateral cooperation. Dr. Jaishankar also met Minister-President of Bavaria Markus Söder in Germany and discussed economic and technology cooperation. The two leaders also held talks about the international situation. Dr. Jaishankar said that he looked forward to welcoming Markus Söder to India. Earlier, Dr. Jaishankar held a meeting with Germany's Defense Minister Boris Pistorius and discussed bilateral cooperation and Ukraine development. The Munich Security Conference will offer an unparalleled platform for high-level debates on the key foreign and security policy challenges of time. And India's oldest paramilitary force, the Assam Rifles, is organizing a 5-day sports tournament and a cultural extravaganza in the capital Delhi from Saturday. The event named Unity Utsav aims to promote national integration by fostering the athletics talent of sportsmen from India's 8 northeastern states.
4 दिन के लिए 15 तारीख से लेकर 19 तारीख तक स्पोर्टिंग इवेंट होगा. 5 स्पोर्ट्स, फुटबॉल, बास्केटबॉल, वॉलीबॉल, एथलेटिक्स एंड बैडमिंटन. और 20th को एक इवेंट होगा, कल्चरल इवेंट, which all the students will come together and perform. और यूनिटी उत्सव, it will be celebrating the entire idea of India and sense of belonging and ownership of the country.
Now, Vande Bharat Express, India's first semi-high-speed train, completes 6 years today. The historic Vande Bharat Express was launched on 15 February 2019. The train marked a significant milestone in India's rail history. Introduced on the New Delhi to Varanasi route, the train was officially inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi as part of Make in India initiative. The Vande Bharat has also made its debut in Kashmir with several unique features. Currently, 78 Vande Bharat trains are running across the country. These daytime trains quickly gain popularity. By 2025-26, India is expected to have 200 Vande Bharat trains, 50 Vande sleeper trains and 100 Amrit Bharat trains. A motivational speaker and founder of Isha Foundation, Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev, on Saturday interacted with students in the 8th edition of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Pariksha Pe Charcha program. While speaking with the students, Sadhguru said that a textbook is not a challenge for the intelligence, no matter who you are.
Education is not about examination. Examination is just an evaluation to see whether you're fit enough to go to the next step or not. And education is about giving you access to life. What I'm telling you is, you must keep your intelligence in a dynamic mode. Doesn't matter what it is, because education is about giving you fundamentals which will give you access to life.
Sadhguru also said that everybody can sparkle and do things that others cannot even imagine.
Everybody can sparkle and do things that others cannot imagine. Everybody. Only thing is, because there is no striving, that sparkle doesn't happen. But recent studies have shown, when people become very meditative, with Shambhavi, lot of studies have been done, you must look it up. With Shambhavi Mahamudra, they see large part of the brain is lit up. Not any particular thing, large part of the brain. This needs to happen, that everything is lit up. What you use is up to you. See, intelligence is not about usefulness. Intelligence creates profoundness of experience of life. The more you activate your intelligence, the more access you have into everything that you see.
And now to all the latest from the Maha Kumbh, the largest religious congregation in the world. Around 15,000 sanitation workers will strive to create a world record today by participating in the largest synchronized sweeping drive at the ongoing Maha Kumbh Mela in Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj. This comes in the backdrop of two remarkable world records created at the Maha Kumbh on Friday. First, by becoming the largest event globally with over 500 million direct participants. The second is setting up a new benchmark for the largest ever synchronized river cleaning campaign. The initiative aims to highlight the core values of Maha Kumbh by promoting cleanliness and environmental conservation while strengthening the message of collective responsibility to preserve the sanctity of key sites. Sports now. An evening of celebration, culture and sporting glory marked the grand closing ceremony of 38th National Games in Haldwani. India's Home Minister Amit Shah graced the occasion as a chief guest, adding to the significance of the event. Golapar Stadium turned into a vibrant stage as athletes, dignitaries and spectators came together to bid farewell to an unforgettable edition of the Games. DD India's Narayan Singh reports.
The 38th edition of the Indian Olympic-style event, National Games, witnessed a spectacular farewell in the North Indian city of Haldwani in Uttarakhand. The grand closing ceremony took place at Golapar Stadium, marking the end of an exciting sports extravaganza. India's Home Minister Amit Shah graced the event as the chief guest. He received a warm welcome with a vibrant performance by artists. In his address, he praised Uttarakhand for successfully hosting the Games.
धामी जी ने 21वें स्थान पर से देश के खेलों के नक्शे पर हमारी देवभूमि को 7वें स्थान पर लाने का पुरुषार्थ.
Meghalaya officially took over as the next host to the 39th edition of the Games to be held in 2027. Uttarakhand delivered a remarkable performance in the event. The host state won 24 gold, 35 silver and 44 bronze medals, finishing with a total of 103 medals. The Services Sports Control Board emerged as the overall champion. The 38th National Games concluded on a high note, celebrating talent, dedication and sporting excellence.
The 38th National Games may have come to a close, but this is not the end. It's a new dawn of Indian sports. The passion, determination and excellent display in Uttarakhand during the National Games will continue to inspire athletes across the nation. As the torch now passes to Meghalaya for the next edition, The journey of the sporting glory marches on, promising even greater achievements ahead. With camera person Manmohan, Narayan Singh, DD India, Haldwani.
Let's now take you to Japan, where a giant panda got Valentine's Day gifts in western Japanese town of Shirahama. Heart-shaped ice sculptures were among the Valentine's Day gifts presented to Fohin. A 4-year-old female lives at a zoo in Wakayama Prefecture. The facility has been giving such gifts to a giant panda every year. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.